I'm here at the Field Museum, and behind me is Sue. She's the largest, most complete Tyrannosaurus Rex found ever so far. Who knows? Maybe next year that might change. But this is by far one of the most significant finds here at the Field Museum. And it also has, for some Christians, some controversy or thoughts or doubts. There's even an exhibit on evolution. There's an exhibit on how we evolved from monkeys. And which is neat is the fact that they try to make it, they present it as though it's a fact. But the reality is none of us were there millions and millions of years ago. But what we do know is that there's a mystery right behind us. Some say that dinosaurs are in the Bible. There's scriptures to Leviathan and other scriptures of these gigantic, enormous monsters that used to live. There's even in Revelation, it talks about the dragon coming back. So you can't get any more dragon-like than the Tyrannosaurus Rex. If he could talk, I think a lot of people would listen to him. But there's a lot of controversy, and there's a lot of there's some people that even say, "Hey, I can't believe in the Bible because it doesn't mention dinosaurs, or it doesn't talk about what happened to them, and it doesn't talk about evolution and things like that." Well, first of all, evolution is a theory; it's not a fact. And there's some things that you may not know about, and a lot of other Christians don't know about the Scriptures. Just because the Bible doesn't talk about something, it doesn't mean that it's not real. That's one thing. It doesn't mean that it's not true, or it doesn't mean that it's in any way takes away from the fact that the Bible is a story about God communicating with mankind. That's what the story's about. And so just because it doesn't mention dinosaurs doesn't mean that it's not true. But there's some things that are quite interesting that a lot of people don't think about, that the Bible can be interpreted. For example, it says, "in the beginning." So we know that's the beginning of time. Or it could be the beginning of the earth as we know it. Possibility, I don't know. God created the heavens and the earth. For the longest time, I always thought that meant that God created a place where He's going to live, and He created a place where mankind's going to live. It makes sense to me. But if you look at the Hebrew words, it may not be that. It may be exactly what we know as the world that we live in exists of time, space, and matter. And you see that in the Scriptures. In the beginning, that's time. God created the heavens, that's space. It really, if you look at it, it's not talking about the place where God lives. It could represent the atmosphere. It could represent the space. It really, literally could mean that. And then where it says earth, if you look at what the Hebrew meaning of earth is, it's land. It's matter. And so in the beginning, God created. So in the beginning, time. God created space and matter. Now, every scientist on the earth can agree that we live in time, space, and matter. So that's undisputable. So the next part of the Scripture has controversy too that a lot of people don't notice. If you look in the New Living if you look in the NIV, the New International Version of the Bible, you'll see something there that a lot of people skip over. It says, "In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth." Now I might be paraphrasing here because I don't have it in front of me, but here's the key word. Then it goes to say, "Now the heavens became formless and void." It's one way of looking at it. There's a part in the Scripture where it has the word now. now in there. Meaning that we were talking about in the beginning, this God created time, space, and matter. Now, the earth became formless and void. Well, the question is, what was there? If now means present tense, then what was there before? Could have been this. Could have been the ape-like creatures that we see. The Bible doesn't talk about a ice age. Doesn't talk about the dinosaur age. So, does it mean the Bible's wrong? No. What I do know for sure, without a shadow of a doubt, is that in the beginning God created the heavens and earth. I know without a shadow of a doubt the story of the beginning of the Bible is definitely about the present world that we live in. I'm pretty confident. I may not be right, but I'm pretty confident it's the world that we live in. And without a doubt, we know that the dinosaurs are extinct. Now, there's theories. There's theories of Noah. In Noah's time, people lived thousands of years. Before the flood, they lived thousands of years. And a lot of reptiles never stop growing until they die. So, if a lizard lived thousands of years and never stopped growing until it died, then its bone structure would have to change to support that weight. So that right there, Sue over there, she could have been one of those little tiny lizards that you have in your backyard that you play with that kept on growing and growing and growing. So over 1,000 years, we got her. We do know after the flood, life expectancies were significantly cut to 120 years. Tops. If you're that lucky. Are there exceptions? I'm sure there's exceptions. But the case in point is that the Bible is full of mysteries. It doesn't answer everything, but what it does answer is what's most important. In that God created you, me, for a purpose and a reason. And that was to have a relationship with us where He can plant His Spirit in us and He can walk with us and go on ventures together and just to enjoy life in that intimate way. And the key is you got to walk with Him. You got to listen to those thoughts that are from Him and obey them, but not in a militant way, but in a joyful way. And use the imagination God has given you to see when the imagination is from Him and when it's not. And when it is from Him, Jesus said He only does what He sees the Father doing. In the same area where we have imagination, that's where Jesus was seeing what God was doing, and He did it. It's the same area where we see visions. The same area where we have dreams. So, dinosaurs, we don't know. We don't know. And it's okay to not know. I know some of you out there are fanatics, and you'll like, oh yes, dinosaurs, and Noah just didn't put them on the boat. So, and that may be true. That would be a lot of poop on the boat. So yeah, maybe he didn't want to put them on there. I don't know. And it's okay to not know. When we don't know, it doesn't mean that the Bible is not true. It just means we don't know. And it's okay. Be okay with that.